The personality of Godhead is the last word in absolute truth. Impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma, Supersoul, are included in the knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So no one who knows the personality of Godhead can automatically know all about Him, His multipotencies, and His expansions. So the devotees are congratulated as being all successful. A cent% devotee of the Lord is immune to the dreadful material miseries of repeated birth and death. So, here, most beautifully, it is described, Yad Vasudeve Akhila Lokanate, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is the controller of all the universes. And about Him, Atha Iha Dhanyaha Bhagavantam Itham. Atha Itham means inquiries such as this. Atha is thus, Itham is such. Such inquiries. So the whole theme of today's discussion is inquiries about Krishna are the most essential for human society. Atha eha, iha is in this world. Iha means in this world. So this world, which consists of various activities, exchanges, various inquiries are normal. Munayah sadhu prashtoham bhavadbhir lokamangalam yatkritah krishna samprishno yenatma suprasidati. The sages of Naimisharanya, they are actually expressing Munayah sadhu prashtoham bhavadbhir lokamangalam. Sutta Goswami is saying, the inquiries which you have raised is very good. Because you could have asked questions on any topic. The whole world consists of only two things, questions and answers. So there are two kinds of questions. In the materialistic society, the question is, how can I enjoy? In spiritual life, there is only one question, how can I serve? So the only reason for conflict in this world is conflict between these two sampradayas of question. How can I enjoy versus how can I serve? So therefore the sum total of all the questions and their answers within the materialistic society is summarized under this one question. How can I enjoy? So in the 16th chapter Gita, it is described that idam adya maya labdham imam prapse manoratham idam astidam itime bhavishyati punardhanam adhyo vijanavanasti konyosti sadrisho maya Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. This is the psychology of the materialistic person. That I earned so much money before, I got so much control before. Now I aspire to increase my wealth more. Why do I aspire to increase my wealth? Because the wealth is an instrument by which I can increase the scope of my enjoyment. So Ishvaroham, I am the controller. Aham Bhogi, I am the enjoyer. Siddhoham, I am perfect. Balavan, I got all the power I need. Sukhi, and so I am happy. Yastvaya mandabhagyokto matanyo jagadishvara kvasau yadis sarvatra kasmat stambhena drishyate. Sa itham nirjita kakup ekarad vishayan priyan yathopajosham bhunjano natripyat ajitendriya. The conflict between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, as described in the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagvatam. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanamutaya manvantara ishanukata nirodha muktirashraya tashamasya vishuddhartam navanamiha lakshanam varnayanti mahatmana shrutenarthena anjasa. So in the 10 topics, one of the topics is Uti. Uti refers to 6th canto, a 7th canto. Uti means Shubh, Ashubh, Ichha. So Prahlad represents Shubh Ichha. Hiranyakashipu represent Ashubh Ichha. So the conflict between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad represent the conflict between the inauspicious desires of I am the enjoyer of this world and the auspicious desire of I am the servant. How can I enjoy versus how can I serve? It is not a conflict between father and son. Sometimes, people feel that, oh, this is not good, you are trying to promote something like this. That father is being killed and son is celebrating. This is not good. So therefore, what is the difference between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad? Only one difference. How can I enjoy versus how can I serve? So therefore, Hiranyakashipu's psychology is described. Sa itham nirjita kakub ekarad vishayan priyan. Hiranyakashipu had been given access to each and every object in the entire creation to enjoy. What was the scope of Hiranyakashipu's enjoyment? Each and every sense object was available for Hiranyakashipu. He was nirjita. He could not be conquered. He conquered over everybody. Ekarat. He was the supreme sole controller. He was the supreme king. Ekarat. It is said Alexander the Great entered into India. He conquered over the rest of the world through Europe, Asia, entered India. And then on the way out, it is said that he got malaria. There are lots of theories, controversies about how he died. But one of the theories is he got malaria and he was on his deathbed. And then he called the doctors and said that, do something and give me a medicine by which I can prolong my life. Doctor said, not possible. You are facing death. Time has come. Alexander said, I will give you 50% of my kingdom. in return for 50% of my kingdom, allow me at least 1,000 more breaths. He said, sir, not possible. Alexander said, I will give 3/4 of my kingdom. Allow me 100 more breaths. Said, not possible. Alexander told the doctor, I will give you my entire kingdom. Allow me 1 extra breath. He said, not possible. Alexander said, I spent and wasted millions and millions of breaths to acquire this whole kingdom, and return for this kingdom I cannot get back even 1 extra breath. What is the point? So Alexander said, when you are taking my funeral, make sure that you keep my hands outstretched outside the coffin, so that the whole world can see that here is a person who conquered millions and millions of acres of land, unlimited quantities of wealth, jewels, rubies, emeralds. But while departing, he is going with his hands empty. And then very soon he left his body. And therefore, I always add my punchline that what the greatest armies in the world could not do, Indian mosquitoes did. Because he died out of malaria. So he couldn't handle that. So you may be a very big conqueror, but all you need is one disease. And therefore, even if someone is the greatest, most powerful enjoyer, there is a lifespan. Shyam Sundar Prabhu in 70s was Prabhupada's secretary. So they were in Switzerland, and they had just come out with a first quartz watch. And the initial model was such that the screen of the watch was completely dark, and only if you press the knob, the light would glow, and then only when the light was glowing you could see the time. That was the first version of the digital watch which they came out with. So he thought, okay, this is a brand new watch and we must give it to Prabhupada. So he offered it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada wore it, and Prabhupada saw it was all dark. Prabhupada said, how do I see the time? So Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, Prabhupada, you use your other hand and press the button, the light will glow. So Prabhupada did that. And then he saw the time. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, Prabhupada, how do you like it? This is the latest. Prabhupada said, previously I could see with one hand, now I need 2 hands. This is your advancement of material civilization. It is only different varieties of trying to enjoy. I am the enjoyer. Nirjitya dikchakram abhuta vigraho varasanastha samaraj vandita. Griheshu maithunya sukheshu yojita kridamagras ishaya ishaniyate. Muchukunda is describing to the Lord that actually I was nirjitya. Nobody could conquer over me. Dikchakram, I had conquered over all the 4 directions. Abhuta vigraho varasanastha samaraja vandita. And I was sitting on the throne being worshipped by all my other equals who had been conquered by me. It was an experience of great euphoria, having conquered over all my comrades. But griheshu maithunya sukheshu yojitam. And I had so many queens, but in order to enjoy, I had to beg, please give me some enjoyment. And therefore I became like a dancing dog in the hands of all of them. And therefore, the only question in material world is, how can I enjoy? And therefore, one either enjoys using the senses, using the mind, using the intelligence, the false ego. And the highest intoxication one gets is when one is addicted to the concept that I am the controller. So therefore, egoistic pleasure is the highest. And therefore, it is the most difficult to also conquer over the influence of the false ego. And here, Hiranyakashipu was actually experiencing the great pleasure of controlling 330 million demigods. He had employed the demigods as his domestic servant. The demigods were cleaning his palaces. The demigods were doing his laundry. Demigods were cutting vegetable in his kitchen. And Hiranyakashipu loved chastising the demigods causelessly. And sometimes the demigods would be so scared just by seeing him that when he would raise his eyebrows, they would faint. He loved that feeling, how much control I have over these demigods. And therefore, because the demigods were practically glorifying him, worshipping him, he got addicted to that. And therefore, amongst all kinds of addiction, addiction to the false ego is the most deadly. Addiction to other kinds of intoxicants is insignificant compared to the addiction to the false ego. And therefore, here he's asking this question to Prahlad. Everybody is worshipping me, accepting me, glorifying me as the supreme. Kvasav yadi sa sarvatra kasmat stambhena drishyate. How come you are not accepting me? How come you are not glorifying me? I cannot believe it. Madanyo Jagadishwara. So the biggest problem of Hiranyakashipu was only this, that Prahlad accepted a controller besides Hiranyakashipu. Madanyo Jagad Ishwara. How can someone be a competitor in being the controller of this Jagat? Mad Anyo, apart from me. Yes, Tvaya Manda Bhagyokto. Prahlad, how can you be dull-headed fool like this? To accept someone else as a controller besides me? Have you gone nuts? How is it possible? So the nature of false ego is such that when we think I am the controller, it is intolerable to accept someone else as a controller. So the conflict between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad was that just imagine 330 million demigods are accepting Hiranyakashipu's authority. How many more followers you need? And apart from that, unlimited number of demons are accepting his supremacy. So he must be having millions and millions of people accepting his every word as supreme. But one boy is saying, I do not accept you. So is it such a big deal if one person doesn't accept? Hiranyakashipu could have told, okay, Prahlad, behave yourself, nonsense. Okay, he's my son, so he's in a bad mood today. He could have neglected. But one person not accepting, it affected him so badly. Why? Because that is the nature of the false ego. Somebody went to a doctor and said, Doctor, I am having pain all over my body. Doctor checked from head to toe, every part of the body. And the doctor pressed here, saying, do you have pain? He said, no. Here, no. Here, no. Here, no. When the doctor was touching, there was no pain. And so the doctor said, you are saying you are having pain all over the body, but when I am touching, there is no pain. What's going on? The man said, but when I touch, I see pain everywhere. Doctor said, your finger is infected. And when you touch any part of your body with your finger, you are experiencing the pain due to that contact. The contact is creating pain. So when we contact other people and we feel this relationship is painful, it is not that person is painful. My false ego is like an infected finger. Any contact it comes with, it will be painful. Prabhupada was traveling to, another location. And so one devotee was making samosas for Prabhupada. So Prabhupada entered the kitchen. And as she was, putting the samosas in a box so that Prabhupada can carry for his travel. So Prabhupada entered and saw the box was getting filled with these samosas. Prabhupada started picking the samosa from the box and eating. The lady looked at Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, this is for your travel. Prabhupada said, but it looks very good, so I'm eating. So she became very inspired. And she said, Prabhupada, how many samosas will you eat? Prabhupada said, more than you can make. So she got even more encouraged. Then she started thinking, Prabhupada loves my cooking so much that he is unable to resist. So she said, Prabhupada, who's your favorite cook? So she was expecting, an answer. Prabhupada said, myself. When I cook, I like it the most. So Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and, Prabhupada was talking to Hamsaduta Prabhu. And he was sitting there doing his bhajan and he was enjoying it. Prabhupada told him that, I think you have spent enough time here, you should now go from here. So he said, no Prabhupada, I am enjoying such a blissful experience, Braj Bhumi. Prabhupada said, no, you must go and preach. He said, where should I go? Prabhupada said, you should go to Sri Lanka. He didn't want to go. Prabhupada, Sri Lanka, a small country. What will I do? Prabhupada said, okay, go to Pakistan. He said, oh, I think Sri Lanka is better. So sometimes we are so fixed in our opinions and our desires. And when we are given a service, seva. So seva basically means the opinion of others override my opinion and my desires. We allow the flow of others' desires and others' opinions to subdue my opinion and my desires. That's what is called as seva. How can I serve you or me? Serve you. So therefore, that's the conflict. When Hiranyakashipu, he saw Prahlad is accepting some other person, Madanyo Jagadishwara. How can someone else be a controller beyond me? Kvasau yadisa sarvatra. If that person is everywhere, kasmat stambhena drishyate. Is he not there in this pillar? So that was the main root conflict. And so here it is described, Hiranyakashipu had every object available. Sa itham nirjita kakub ekarat vishayan priyan yathopajosham bhunjano. As he liked, he could pluck any object and enjoy the way he wanted. Unlimited enjoyment, unlimited sense objects available for enjoyment, unlimited control available. But the nature of the false ego is, it is never enough. There is no end to the hunger and the thirst for enjoyment and control in this world. And therefore, the question, how can I enjoy? It can never have a conclusive answer. Because Hiranyakashipu could not put a full stop. So how can anyone in this world? Similarly, the question, how can I serve, also does not have any conclusive answer. Because you cannot put a full stop to service. So the desire to enjoy is unlimited. The desire to serve is also unlimited. But you have to choose one or the other. In California, many years ago, they were having a wonderful festival in the initial days of ISKCON. And they had made a very nice, delicious carob cake to offer to the Lord. It was a Narsingha Chaturdashi evening, full day fasting. On the altar was carob cake. Narti was going on. All the brahmacharis' eyes were on the cake. Jai Narsingha Dev, Jai Narsingha Dev. Narsingha Dev Bhagwan ki Jai. And they were waiting for that cake to be distributed. And they had contemplated. So when you start contemplating, you look at an object, you start thinking, oh, this is how it will be. So they were contemplating, expecting. And when the first guy got the piece of cake, he had rice, dal, sabji, other things on the plate, but because he found that prospect to be most attractive, he pounced on that piece of cake and took a bite. The cook had made a mistake, forgot to add sugar in the cake. The cake looked attractive, tasted horrible, or tasted horrible. So he was like shocked. He couldn't imagine. Because he had contemplated on this object to give him enjoyment for so long that when the interaction finally gave pain instead of pleasure, he was horror struck. He took the cake out, kept looking at it in shock. How can this object which was supposed to give me pleasure, give me so much pain? What was the first response? Denial. No, no, no. This cannot give me pain. He turned it around and kept it on the plate. Kept eating rice dal, kept looking at it. Because he thought maybe timing was not right. If I change the timing, maybe the experience will change. Why? Because the conditioned soul, because of his controllership and enjoyership, cannot accept defeat. That I made choices which were wrong, how can it be possible? Whatever decisions I make is always right. So the conditioned soul is not willing to accept defeat. Defeat in making the choices. So then, after some time, again picked up and took a bite from another side. Do you think the experience will change? The ingredient which will give pleasure or sweetness is not there inside. So therefore, the influence of false ego only creates distress. So whenever we ask a question, how can I enjoy? Whatever may be the details of the answer, but the question itself is connected to enjoyment. Whatever may be the answer, the experience will be that of frustration. Bhukta bhoga, so Bhagavatam says, Shrutam cha drishtavat dushtam spardha asuya atyaya vyayai bahu antaraya kamatvat krishivat chapi nishphalam. What is the nature of the conditioned soul? Not accepting defeat in his enjoyment efforts. So, drishtavat. Drishtavat means we experience. I experience some particular sense object. I experience life in a particular location, city, job, profession, relationship. And I go through certain kind of frustration in that. That is drishtavat dushtam. So I see the faults in that particular situation. But when I go through those faults and I see that I go through that misery, what is my first response? Shrutam cha. But looks like there are other experiences which I have not gone through. So maybe I should try that. So I had a friend who was in Mumbai, and he was really fed up with the crowds in the buses in Mumbai. And he thought, I must go to London. Just because it is so crowded in Mumbai, I want little. So he went to London. He sat in the bus, night 8 o'clock. Bus was empty. Only driver and him. He was in ecstasy. He thought he has attained Vaikuntha. 8 o'clock at night in Mumbai, the bus is bent in one direction because of the crowd. And here the whole bus was empty. Every 10 seconds he was sitting in different seat, trying to experience every seat in the bus because he was overwhelmed with ecstasy. Then suddenly he saw in the bus one camera. So he asked the driver, what is this camera? Driver said, hey, don't worry. So, no, why is this camera? The driver said, because bus go empty, sometimes there are hoodlums or dacoits who attack. And they take away the person's wallet and sometimes kill him also. So the camera is used by police to find out who got killed, who killed him, Who is the killer? He got bewildered. He said, my God, I thought empty bus is wonderful. But there are other problems related to this also. And in India, if you put camera, first thing camera will be gone. So you never know. So you cannot say this situation perfect. So you get frustrated with one circumstance, you change your circumstance. Why do people change circumstances? Because their expectation of the answer to their question, how can I enjoy, is not fully satisfied there. So they go to another circumstance. How can I enjoy? Then they get a set of answers. Try that. There also they get frustrated. Again, go to another circumstance. How can I enjoy? So they are simply placing the infected finger in every part of the body and wondering, why is the pain not decreasing? Because they are simply changing locations but asking the same question. Krishna consciousness means change the question. Material life means change the location but ask the same question. Krishna consciousness means don't change location, change the question. Shrutam cha drishtavat dushtam pardha asuya atyaya vyayai. So every place you go in the 14 planetary systems, the Bhagavatam says, what you experience, same things. Spardha, which is competition. Asuya, envy. Atyaya, decay, vyayai, death. Anywhere you go, you will experience this. Bahu antaraya kamatvat. You may have so many desires, but there will always be obstacles to the fulfillment of your desires. Krishivat chapi nishvalam. Like a farmer says, oh, in this land, it is not enough rain here. Let me buy another land. He buys another land, there will be some saltiness in the land. Rain is very good, land is not having the fertilizers. This is another place. Oh, rain is good, fertilizer also okay. Too much weeds. Changes land, another place. Oh, too many wild animals attacking. Anywhere you go, we have limited control over our circumstances. But we have unlimited control over our consciousness. So therefore Bhagavatam says, if there is a patch of land which is filled with pebbles, stones, thorns, all kinds of, other obstacles, and you have given choice, okay, use a roller to smoothen out the pebbles, to smoothen out the sharp thorns, to make the land smooth, straight. That means if you have an instrument in your hand with which you will make the ground in front of you smooth before you step on it, how much time you will take to walk? Where every step which you are going to keep, you have to first make sure it becomes smooth before you step. Will you be able to walk? Or the other choice is, the land is unpredictable, the land is filled with sharp thorns, but you wear a powerful shoes, strong shoes, boots. So when you have boots on your feet, does it matter to you whether the land is having thorns or soft dust? Why? Because your feet are covered with strong boots. So the changes in circumstances do not affect you. So therefore Bhagavatam says, that trying to change the surface of this land is like asking the question, how can I enjoy? And in spite of all of those circumstances, wearing boots and walking through in any circumstance is like asking the question, how can I serve? Because we are not concerned with our own personal enjoyment. And naturally, the mind becomes covered with the boots of deep satisfaction. And therefore Bhagavatam says, Bhukta bhoga parityakta drishta dosha cha nityashah na ishvarasya ashubham dhatte sve mahimni sthitasya cha. Bhukta bhoga, having tried to enjoy here, got severely punched. Tried to enjoy here, got kicked. Tried to enjoy here, got smashed. Tried to enjoy here, got frustrated. Bhukta bhoga parityakta. After having been repeatedly smashed, at last the conditioned soul must submit and accept that I have to give up this. I have to give up asking this question, how can I enjoy? Drishta dosha cha nityasha, seeing the fault in this. And what is that? Na ishvarasya ashubham dhatte. He comes to the conclusion that trying to be the controller and enjoyer is ashubham. It only gives inauspiciousness. And then let me try to be the servant. Sve mahimni sthitasya cha. Then the soul is situated in his own real true glory. And therefore, that was the question which Prahlad was always asking. Nodvigna chitto vyasaneshu nispriha shruteshu drishteshu guneshu avastudrik dantendriya prana shariradi sada prashanta kamo rahita sura sura. What was Prahlad's speciality? Prashanta kamo. He had no independent desires to enjoy. And therefore, rahita sura sura. Although he was born in Asura family. What is the meaning of Asura? Asu ramante iti asura. Asu means breathing. Asu ramante means one who is always dedicated to maintain his breathing at any cost. I will make sure I continue breathing at the cost of others' breathing. Asu ramante iti asura. He will keep himself alive. And he does not mind even harming others to keep himself alive. That is called asura. So therefore, rahita sura asura. He was born in Asura family, but he did not have the asura tendencies. And therefore, na udvigna chitta vyasaneshu. He was not attracted to enjoy the objects of this world. Nispriha, free from the desires. Shruteshu, drishteshu, guneshu, avastudrik. He was not attached to objects of this world or in the next life. Prashanta kamo. And therefore, this is the questions which we must ask. How can I serve? And so that is what is described here. Ateha dhanya. These kind of questions lead us to success. Bhagavanta itham. What is real success? When I am constantly asking the question, how can I serve? Then I go through Adidaivik misery. Still I ask, how can I serve? Then Krishna orchestrates Adibhautik misery. Still I ask, how can I serve? Then Krishna puts Adhyatmic misery. Still I ask, how can I serve? And that was the speciality of the Pandavas. And so it is described in the Puranas that Mahavipattau samsare yah smaret madhusudana vipattau tasya sampatti bhavet ityaha shankara. In the greatest calamity, Mahavipatti, one who remembers Krishna, who remembers this is orchestrated by the Lord to bring me closer to Him. Prasad, mercy, is not just what you get on your plate at the end of a Hare Krishna program. The purpose of the temple is distribution of prasad. Distribution of prasad means not just the food which is offered to the Lord, which is very delicious, for sure. We were in a South India tour and we had set up in Srirangam our whole prasadam counter. Suddenly the commissioner of police for traffic came in and he started questioning how you have set up all this pandal and everything. Nobody took permission for all the buses. I'm going to stop all the buses from entering. So I said, well, sir, all the buses are about to come, I don't know. So, no, I'm not going to allow this. Close this down. You cannot distribute prasadam. So we had just set up the whole thing and there was moong dal paisam. So I took in one bowl, drona, moong dal paisam, and gave it to him. Sir, please, before everyone comes, at least you honor this. We will see later whether to give permission or not. He said, hey, don't try to shut me up with this prasad. I said, no, sir, this is Lord's prasad, at least have. So he took, very reluctantly, he took that moong dal paisam with cashews and kismis and pure ghee floating. And after he honored it, he said, can I have one more? He took one more, then one more. 5 bowls he finished. Then he went inside his van, got one stainless steel dabba. He said, can you pack some for my home also? And then while going, he said, anyway, make sure you take the right permissions and everything. I said, we took the permission. Oh, anyway, make sure you inform me. So the prasadam definitely is very powerful astra. It creates transformation. So in ISKCON temple, prasadam is distributed for sure. And in India, every day, just amongst the schools, ISKCON distribute 2.7 million plates of prasadam every day. So ISKCON is famous for prasadam distribution. And so many people, they initially, like even myself, I first went for prasadam. Because when you go, whether you understand philosophy or not, you understand prasad. But what is the meaning of prasadam? Prasadam means mercy. So just like whatever comes on my plate in a temple, whether it is sweet rice or it is karela, I see it as prasadam. If the karela comes, is it not prasadam? It is prasadam. If a green chili hits my tongue and I start crying, sometimes red and green chili together. So, was it part of prasadam? Yes. And as also the sweet rice, that is also prasadam. So whatever is coming on my plate is prasadam. So similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of these literatures, and the knowledge which you are sitting and hearing right now. Why you are sitting and hearing? You are hearing so that you get the ability to see that whatever comes on my plate in my 24 hours in my life, in my 365 days of the year, whatever comes, whether it is as per my expectation or against my expectation, I am able to see it as prasada, the Lord's mercy, the Lord's grace. So therefore, we come to the temple to access prasad, to get a taste for prasad, not just the food, but you are able to see every situation, every circumstance from that perspective. It is the Lord's grace. Therefore, Mahavipattau samsare yah smaret madhusudana vipattau tasya sampatti. A businessman, he goes to the market with only one goal. What? To lose money or make money? So because the elections bring somebody as prime minister or president, will the businessman stop his effort? Whether he is in India or America or Africa or Russia, what is businessman's goal? Whether he meets in a dhaba or in a Marriott, when he is negotiating with somebody, what he will do? Whether the businessman is taking breakfast or lunch or dinner, he is thinking of what? So he is fully determined. That is called vyavasayi. Businessman is called what? Vyavasayi. Vyavasayi means business. Dhanda karte hain, hai na? So therefore, devotees, so that is called professional. He is very professional, that in spite of change in circumstances, his performance, his attitude, his goal and mission doesn't change. Like that, devotees are what? Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. Those whose business is spiritual life, Atma, they are called Vyavasaya Atmika. Our business is we invest in Atma. Those who are professional businessmen in the spiritual line are called Vyavasayatmika. Buddhi. The intelligence is constantly planning only in one direction. How to invest in Krishna and get more returns of Krishna's grace and blessings. There is only one thought. Ekeha Kurunandana. What is the Ekeha? Profit. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnum. Just like businessman is thinking of only profit, devotee is also thinking only of profit. And what is that profit? Grace. How can I earn the grace? How do I earn the grace? By pleasing him. How do I please him? By pleasing the Vaishnavas. Sometimes I may please the Vaishnavas by doing a service, and sometimes I please the Vaishnavas by giving up the service. So why should I get disturbed if service is taken away? If Vaishnavas are telling me give it up, if I give up, that will please him. I am concerned with profit or loss. Profit. I am not concerned with doing business of rice or dal or potato or petrol. I am concerned with profit. And if suddenly the market changes, I can make more money out of petrol, I will go for petrol. Instead of dal, if they say wheat will make more money, okay. So the businessman is concerned with profit. A devotee is also concerned with profit, which is Krishna's grace. Hanumanji conquered over Lanka, was the hero of the battle of Lanka. Then Ramchandra said, in the next yuga, Hanumanji, you will not be the hero of the battle. I will make Arjuna the hero. So Lord Ram appeared as Krishna, made Arjuna the hero of the battle. But he gave Hanumanji another position, to be on the flag and just shout, Hari Bol. That was his service. The person who was like the forefront of the battle was now given the task of cheerleader. Whenever Arjuna kills, clap. So that is even more difficult. That not only Hanuman is not the hero, he is made to sit right above the hero and glorify the next hero. And Hanumanji did not argue with the Lord. What is this, my dear Lord? This is what I am getting in response for what I did in last yuga. Last yuga I did so much of seva. और अभी झंडे पे चढ़ा दिया. क्या है ये? So therefore seva means what we are told to do. So Hanumanji was told to sit on the flag. Then Hanumanji is seeing Arjuna is getting bewildered at the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Hanumanji didn't come down and start negotiating with Krishna. I told you before not to risk with new fellows, untrained guys. Did I ever get bewildered in Treta Yuga? Did I ever go through depression? Did I have a nervous breakdown? Don't try new people. I am tried and tested already. I don't need all this arrow and all. All I will do is I will increase the size and sleep on the, Kaurava army. They will be finished. But Krishna said, no, you just sit there and watch. So Hanumanji's real heroism is not in his ability to fight, but in his ability to withdraw from the fight when asked. That is the heroism of a servant. He can fight when asked, and he can withdraw from the fight when asked. That is more difficult than anything else. And therefore, he was in the mood, how can I serve? Therefore, atheha dhanya bhagavanta itham yat vasudeve akhila loka nathe.